I'd like to welcome everybody to our council meeting tonight. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'll ask the Honorable Mayor Bobby Hurton to lead us in our invocation. And right from our prayer, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go right into the pledge.
Please stand. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this time that you've given us to come out and discuss the business of our city. Thank you for blessing our city so much. Thank you for loving us. Always be protective of our police, our fire, our public works employees as they work outside, some in harm's way. Just pray for their protection at all times, for our staff and every department that we have. Just thank you for blessing our city with their service. Thank you for each council person that is up here. Give them wisdom, give them guidance to make the best decisions for the great city of Northport, Alabama, but most of all to be in honor. Lord, just thank you for loving us. These things we ask.
Amen. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilwoman Hayes.
Here.
Councilman Sullivan.
Here.
Councilman Acker.
Here.
Councilman Harper.
Here.
President Logan.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. President.
All right. Hey, I'm Officer Carrie Baker. I'm with Northport Police Department. I'm the Community Relations Officer for our agency. And actually about a month ago, we did an event for Safe Kids Tuscaloosa. Safe Kids Tuscaloosa, for those of you that do not know, is a group of individuals that's committed to keeping our kids safe in their car seats, making sure that they're strapped in, helping educate those that are in the community for any type of head trauma injuries to children, bicycle safety, car seat checkups that we do, as well as educational material and things that we hand out. I would like to call before you retired captain from Tuscaloosa Police Department, Charlene Wilkerson. And also Northport Police Department, so our retired sergeant, Janice, well, basically you're a sergeant. Corporal / sergeant, same thing, Janice Hagler. Both of these ladies have continued to give this community as well as surrounding communities, Tuscaloosa County. They go up to Children's Hospital outside of here and give and are committed to giving our children and those that are growing up around us as much information and education as they can to help keep all of our kids safe and to help us as parents feel like we're keeping our kids safe. So without further ado, I would like to thank you guys for your commitment to our kids and your dedication to all of us with a check for $740 from our event.
All right.
She's going to let me do all the talking. And I'm not afraid to talk. That's why I was good at my job. The Safe Kids agency it says Safe Kids Tuscaloosa, but it's Tuscaloosa County. It's the whole area. We also now cover the West Alabama area for the car seat program. That's something near and dear to Charlene and I's heart. We do this. We don't get paid to do any of these things. We're volunteers every time we show up someplace. And we love it, and we want to thank the city of Northport for all their support. The police department and fire department can't do it without you, and we appreciate everything that they've done for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I make some presentations here, this last Saturday, day before yesterday, in downtown Northport, we had an event sponsored by Eagles Wings, and it was the first ever Shrimp Fest for this organization in downtown. Didn't really know how the turnout would be, how it would come out as far as the finances. But according to Mr. Jerry back here, it was awesome. I know I was there for a few hours and participated. And Jerry, if you would come up here and say a word about the Eagles Wings event.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, I want to thank the city of Northport and all you guys for all your support. The police department was awesome. Fire department, I couldn't ask for any better support from a community. Now I know why a lot of people come to Northport to start a business, because they have been awesome. You ought to be very proud of them. Anything I asked for, they tried to accommodate, and then some. They come to me with ideas and thoughts and stuff, and really helped me out a lot. So I can't say enough about it. And I went today and spoke to just about all the merchants in town and thanked them for supporting us, because they were selling tickets for us and giving discounts if you come in with a ticket. And every one of them said they had a very good day Saturday. They had a lot of foot traffic coming in, and that's what we was wanting to do. We wanted the city downtown merchants to benefit from this also. So I felt like it was a win-win, and that's what we were shooting for. Sure. And but there again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank the whole community, but the city has been just awesome, and I can't say enough about them. And thank y'all again, and thank you, Bobby.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Appreciate you so much. All right. I know this is a very worthwhile organization, and the funds that they receive from this event will go far. But I guess the highlight of my day there, I got to draw the winner of the $10,000 cash prize. Everybody had registered for tickets, so I got to draw the name out of the barrel, and it was packed full of people's names. And my finger sort of covered up the last name, but the first three letters was Bob. And of course I didn't register, but I just got excited for a second. But then when I called out the winner's name, I heard Miss Pike screaming, because it was a local dentist who had said he bought the ticket, but he gave the ticket to Eagles Wings and said that if I win the prize, Eagles Wings keeps the money. So you think Dr. Haraway would mind me mentioning his name? I just threw that out there. If you know Dr. Bob Haraway, I think he's a local dentist, orthodontist. Send him a note or give him a thank you that, that was $10,000 of much needed money. And but I know that Eagles Wings and our whole community appreciates that. Now let me get to my presentations. Not too long ago at Tuscaloosa County High School, just a very few years ago, there was a bass fishing team started, and I think it started with a few. And now how many members do y'all have on the bass fishing team now? 50 or 60 on the bass fishing team. Girls, boys, you don't have to be big, muscular, athletic, just go out there and fish and have a great time. But we got two young men up here. You guys come on up. It's Cade Barnes and Matt Shirley. And these guys represented Tuscaloosa County High School in the National Bass Fishing, National High School Bass Fishing Tournament. And it got two things, they both said the same thing, but there were 134 teams from 37 states, and these guys came in the top 20. Came in the top 20 to representing our area right here. I think they caught a 7-pound brim. It was awesome, but never mind. Okay, let me read these proclamation. It says, whereas Mr. Cade Barnes and Mr. Matt Shirley of the Tuscaloosa County High School bass fishing team qualified to compete in the Costa Bassmaster National High School Championship, and whereas Mr. Josh Hartley served as their boat captain, and whereas there were 134 boats from 37 different states that competed in the tournament that was held July 22nd through 25th on Kentucky Lake in Paris, Tennessee. And whereas after the first day of fishing, Mr. Barnes and Mr. Shirley were in second place with a 20-pound bag. And whereas the ESPNU camera crew accompanied Mr. Barnes and Mr. Shirley on the second day of the tournament, and whereas Mr. Barnes and Mr. Shirley ended up with a top 20 finish out of 134 teams competing, now, therefore, I, Bobby Herndon, by the authority vested in me as the mayor of the great city of Northport, Alabama, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, August 4, 2015, to be Mr. Cade Barnes and Mr. Matt Shirley Day in the city of Northport, and express our congratulations to these young men, their boat captain, and families for all of their hard work and a job well done. Guys, thank you so much. Anything y'all want to say?
We'd like to thank the City of Northport for everything they do for the bass fishing team, and Mr. Sullivan and Mr. Acker for everything they do. Thank y'all.
Very good. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Mayor Herndon, and thanks to Cade and Matt. I know you guys are very proud to have your own day in the city of Northport. Thank you. Item 5 is the approval of the agenda. In our pre-meeting, we have some things to add and some things to take away as far as additions or deletions. We do have a motion on the, a form of a motion, item 8A3, 8B7, 8B8 will be added to the agenda, and deleting item 8B3, 8B4, and 8B5. So, form of a motion, I'd like to put that on the floor, is to add items 8A3, 8B7, and 8B8, and remove or delete items 8B3, 8B4, and 8B5. There's a motion by myself. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Sullivan. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Collins.
President Logan?
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Acker?
Yes.
Councilman Harper?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Under new business, item 8A1 is a first reading of an ordinance approving voting locations for Council District Number 5. Mr. Collins.
Mr. President, members of council, Mayor Herndon, what you have before you is a first reading of an ordinance that would move the polling place for Council District 5 from Flatwoods Elementary School to Flatwoods Baptist Church. Flatwoods Baptist Church is located within the boundaries of City Council District 5. It is also the local polling place for countywide races in that area. So what we have before you is simply a first reading with a vote to follow at our next council meeting, authorizing that move so that can be our polling place for the 2016 municipal election for both mayor and council member District 5.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for a first reading?
I'll offer that. Mr.
Thank you.
President.
Thank you. There's an offer by Councilman Harper. Item 8A2 is a first reading of a permanent resolution accepting a street as a city street. This is out of Mr. Swan's office.
Yes, Mr. President, you have before you a resolution up for first reading to accept Owen Parkway. This is a retail/commercial development just north of City Hall on Highway 42.
Thank you. Do I have an offering by the floor? I'm sorry.
That's first reading.
Thank you. That's a offer by Councilman Acker. Item 3 is a first reading of a permanent resolution accepting Bristol Park Subdivision Phase 1. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Mr. President, this is the same as Mr. Swan's motion. This is first reading only. The developers have completed the build-out of all the public areas of Phase 1 of Bristol Park Subdivision. Is ready for first reading tonight.
Thank you. Do I have an offer from the floor?
I'll also offer that, Mr. President.
Thank you. That's an offer for that first reading by Councilman Acker. Item 8B1 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Metro Animal Shelter. Mr. Davis.
Yes, there have been some changes with the existing agreement between Northport, Tuscaloosa County with the Metro Animal Shelter, which we outlined at the pre-meeting. Basically, it's changing up the makeup of the board somewhat, and more hours, open hours on Saturday, that sort of thing. This same agreement will be approved, I think maybe already has been approved by City of Tuscaloosa and Tuscaloosa County. Ready for a vote for the council, if that's your pleasure.
Thank you. I move to approve that resolution authorizing our mayor to enter into an agreement with the Metro Animal Shelter. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Sullivan. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Collins.
President Logan?
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Acker?
Yes.
Councilman Harper?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. The next item you have on the agenda is 8B2. It is appointing the member of the City Council to the board for the Metro Animal Shelter. The agreement states that the City of Tuscaloosa, the City of Northport, and Tuscaloosa County each have an elected official serve as their representative to the board. The term will expire or run concurrent with the current City Council term for the member who's appointed. The request we have before you tonight is to appoint Councilman Jay Logan to the Metro Animal Shelter Agreement, and that's what I have before you at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve Councilman Jay Logan to the Metro Animal Shelter.
There's a motion by Councilman Sullivan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Harper. Any discussion? If there is none, Councilman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Harper?
Yes.
Councilman Acker?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 3 is deleted. Item 4 is deleted. Item 5 is also deleted. Item 6, declaring certain equipment and items as surplus. Ms. Starnes, we have a wastewater backhoe that it's reached its useful life, and we are removing it from our typical service fleet and putting it out to pasture. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'll make that motion to approve the resolution declaring certain items as surplus, more specifically the backhoe from wastewater, and authorizing its proper disposal. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Harper. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Collins.
President Logan?
Yes.
Councilman Harper?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Acker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 7 is authorizing our city administrator's office to execute an agreement with Bristol Park Homeowners Association regarding ownership and maintenance of a traffic circle located within Bristol Park subdivision. Mr. Collins.
Yes, Mr. President, members of council, Mayor Herndon, as you may be aware, typically when we have items that are located within the city streets or rights-of-way, in this case, in forms of a traffic circle, those are owned by the City of Northport. However, through some discussions with the Bristol Park Homeowner Association, the traffic circle that is currently installed within Bristol Park would fall under the ownership of the Homeowners Association. The city would be responsible for the streets and the surrounding asphalt as we would for any other rights-of-way within the subdivision. The traffic circle from the concrete end, including all gross plantings, grass, or other things, would be under the ownership, maintenance, and care of the Homeowner Association. That does come with a favorable recommendation from staff, and it's our request.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve that resolution authorizing our administrator to execute an agreement with Bristol Park HOA regarding the ownership and maintenance of a traffic circle located within Bristol Park?
Move to approve, Mr. President.
Thank you. That's a motion by Councilman Acker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Sullivan. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Collins.
Councilman Acker?
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Harper?
Yes.
President Logan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 8 is authorizing our city administrator's office to execute an agreement with Bristol Park HOA regarding ownership, construction, and maintenance of stormwater detention facilities located within Bristol Park subdivision. Mr. Collins.
Yes, Mr. President, members of council, Mayor Herndon, located also within Bristol Park subdivision is a detention pond or detention basin. These are the requests we have for you tonight would be that the Bristol Park Homeowner Association own that detention pond and be responsible for all maintenance items, upkeep, and things of that nature. This comes with a favorable recommendation from staff, and that is a request we have for you tonight.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve that resolution authorizing our city administrator's office to execute the agreement with Bristol Park HOA regarding the ownership, construction, and maintenance of the stormwater detention facilities located within Bristol Park subdivision?
Move to approve, Mr. President.
Thank you. That's a motion by Councilman Acker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Sullivan. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Collins.
Councilman Acker?
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Harper?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hayes?
Yes.
President Logan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Item C is our consent agenda. We have 7 listed items. We have one addition, which is item 8C8. That's a PO requisition for L&D contracting. In short, ladies and gentlemen, we had an emergency repair at Twin Lakes at Clear Lake Street. It's an emergency repair that staff has identified, and we needed to get this done because it is an emergency repair regarding this particular item. So we have 8 items, They range from minutes of the previous meeting, bill listings, travel and training for various employees, and of course the PO emergency requisition to L&D contracting for $22,149.00. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the addition of item 8C8?
Move to approve.
Thank you. That's a motion by Councilman Sullivan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Harper. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Collins.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Harper?
Yes.
Councilman Acker?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hayes?
Yes.
President Logan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 9 is reports of special committees to council. We have none to report. Item 10 is public hearings. We have none tonight. Item 11, city administrator's business. Mr. Collins.
Mr. President, members of council, Mayor Herndon, 2 items for you tonight. The first is a reminder of a reception immediately following this meeting for Mr. Paul Hubbard, who served on our Civil Service Board for 20 years. We're incredibly grateful for his service. He has not only done an outstanding job for the city on the Civil Service Board, but he's also been an outstanding representative for the board itself, and we just want to take the opportunity to thank him for his service there, make sure that everyone here has the opportunity to attend when we follow this meeting. Their city appointments are very important. The appointments to the Civil Service Board are very important, and Mr. Hubbard has certainly made that board what it is today as far as a partnership with the city, and we're thankful for his service and all of his time. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you after this meeting. The second thing I have for you tonight is the council meetings for September of this year are scheduled for September 7 and September 21. September 7 falls on Labor Day. The request that we discussed at the pre-meeting tonight was that we move the September 7 meeting up 1 week, which is to say we would move the September meeting from September 7 to August 31. So we would have 3 meetings in August. We would simply move it up. There would be no changes in time, schedules, or events. It would be the same schedule as we have now, except it would be August 31 instead of September 7. That will require an action by the City Council if it falls for them for consideration.
Thank you. That's a request from the City Administrator's Office to move the council meeting that is scheduled for September 7th up to August the 31st. Same times will apply, pre-meeting and council meeting respectively. I'll make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Harper. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Collins.
Councilman Logan?
Yes.
Councilman Harper?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Acker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 13 is public comment. We have 2 citizens sign up to speak. First citizen is Mr. Schwab. Please state your name and address for the record.
I'm Stephen Schwab, and my address is 25 25th Street in Northport. This could be a futile exercise in romanticism or a serious call to much-needed action. What is the city of Northport? Is it a city in its own right or an appendage of Tuscaloosa? If it is a city, where is its heart? Where are the places that evoke a sense of civic pride? It certainly isn't in the strip malls and dilapidated buildings that front on Lurleen Wallace and Highway 82. If it isn't in old downtown Northport, where is it? To my mind, Old Northport is more than a quaint 2 or 3 block cluster of shops and restaurants. It also contains several charming and historic homes. I consider myself privileged and proud to live in one of them. Yet I believe that Old Northport, and Northport more broadly considered, could be much more than it is, and I don't think it would cost that much money to make it so. I just returned from a vacation in northern Michigan where it is lovely in the summer and very cold in the long winter. While I was there, I visited Petoskey, a city whose beauty and sense of civic pride is apparent. In the downtown area, there are small patches of flowers that surround lampposts and even curbside parking meters. There is a lovely park that is 2 blocks long and approximately half a block wide, with a gazebo bandstand, and it is anchored by an ice cream parlor and a city park grill where Ernest Hemingway spent his first honeymoon. I believe that these enhancements help attract both tourists and people who are willing to spend money in the boutiques and art shops that dot the area. I also believe that Northport would profit from similar enhancements. We also need to remember and retell the proud story of this community. Built in the midst of a canebrake wilderness beginning in 1816, early Northport, or Kanetuck, its original name, struggled to survive despite recurrent floodings from the Black Warrior River and fires, one of which in 1914 leveled much of Main Street. In 1932, a tornado had a bomb-like effect on the downtown area. Nevertheless, Northport merchants and concerned citizens repeatedly rebuilt and preserved economic stability. Some of the colorful history of this riverboat town is captured on the bronze plaques at the base of the antique light poles on Main Street. Who among you are responsive to my thoughts? I very much appreciate the crepe myrtle trees that the City Council has planted and maintains along 5th Street. They are beautiful in flower and they make a real difference. I would urge the Council to repaint the rusting light poles along Main Street, and I would be elated if a proposal to fund that repainting were introduced tonight or at the next meeting. Speaking more broadly, I encourage all of you to be more creative in efforts to evoke and to nurture civic pride. It is in this spirit that I tell you that my wife and I would be happy to serve on a planning and oversight committee to work with the council and the historical societies to create more interest in and funding for the preservation and enhancement of the historic district. To quote the late president of Yale University, Bartlett Giamatti, we need to take time for paradise. Thank you.
Mr. Schwab, I've got your email address down here too, so we'll put it in as for the record, so we'll make sure that staff keeps correspondence with you. Thank you. Other citizens signed to speak is Mr. Kenneth. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Okay. Kenneth Walters is my name. I live at 4813 Stewart Park. First of all, I'd like to say this, Mayor. I've got a little picture here for you. You can put in your scrapbook. I really appreciate what you're doing here. You're helping a person change a flat tire, it looks like. And I'm going to tell you what, Mayor, that's the kind of things we do need. You know, we do have a lot of positive things in Northport. Just because we can't keep up all these old houses and everything, that ain't one of my top agendas. But I'm going to tell you what, by you doing that right there, that's showing positive things. And the other day, I seen 2 Northport policemen was trying to help somebody, and that's good, and that's what we need to do. Next thing, Mayor, I want to say this right now. There's some people have been trying to, of course, been oust you the whole time since they've been in office for 3 years, and that's not going to work because they're not going to get you out. And they keep trying to draft people to run against you. And, you know, I've done told them I'm not running for mayor because I cannot support their liberal agenda, because I'm not for abortions. I'm not for putting a gay flag out here on this pole out here. I'm not for banning the guns. I am for banning the guns in this courthouse. I mean, the city hall. We should do that. So, you know, I'm not for those things like that. And I've been told them that, you know, y'all wouldn't like me. I'd be a lot bigger dictator than you, you know. But they need to understand that, you know, people have rights. And just like the other day, they had that big shrimp festival down there. And, you know, I wasn't worried about the open carry people. The people I was worried about is the concealed people. You know what I mean? I mean, I'd rather be around some folks that I know got a gun. I ain't heard nobody from open carry shoot anybody yet. But I agree with y'all. They don't need to bring them in the city hall or courthouse. I agree with that. The next thing I want to do is, you know, last month I wasn't here, but my councilwoman, she brought it up about the water bills. Let me tell you about our water bill. Our water bills is very, very cheap. Mine is average $40 a month. That's $20 for the sewage and $20 for the water. And, you know, we don't have higher water bills. And, you know, I don't know when y'all put together that a reserve fund, but that was a good thing. you know, if she was against that then, that's when she should have voted against it. I don't even know if she was on the council then. So you got to understand, she don't understand that wasn't an increase. You need to have a reserve. I agree with you. Smartest thing we've ever done. But as far as the guns and stuff like that, no, I'm for the open carry and for all that stuff. But the people did a good job down there at the City Fest the other night.
You got 30 seconds.
No, I got 4 minutes, just like this gentleman here has. You're not going to single me out tonight.
You got 30 seconds.
Okay, you go ahead. Well, call my lottery, Dennis.
We got one. Hey, Ron, we got 30 seconds and
Ron,
counting.
he gave him 4 minutes. We just timed him back here, okay?
We got 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know how you are, you know.
30 seconds.
But anyway, you know, people spend more on their cell phone bills than they will do the water bill, the cable TV bill. Let me tell you something, we can't do without water. You can do without power, but you ain't gonna do without water. So we ain't got no problem with the water bills. We're finally getting our bills paid off. When we built that processing plant up there, we didn't plan to pay that loan back. But Mayor, you're doing a good job, and I'm gonna give you a little picture for your scrap page. And like I said, I'm gonna support you 100%, all of y'all 100%. And as far as these people trying to get people to run all that, you need to be working on something in District 1, because this woman here, she's only been a lobbyist for the heritage people. And you know how I feel about that right there. We got other needs than the heritage people are. These people want to keep up these houses, let them go in there and sell donuts. You know, I want a race car track. We ain't built one yet, have we? You know. So, you know, y'all can get up here and talk about, we want this and we want that. You know, just like Jack Warner, he had enough sense to give it to somebody who had money to keep this stuff up. They're going to be arguing about that Shirley house 30 years from now. We need to get out of the welfare home business there. Thank you, sir. Let me give the mayor's picture here.
Thank you.
I brought you this gun control thing. I'm looking for gun control, but you own a gun. I don't understand that. Like, you know, you give you money.
I don't own a gun, but
You know, the other day, you had $10,000. Sure.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you.
Item 14, Mayor and Council Members' Business. I'll start with District 1, the Honorable Councilwoman Judy Hayes.
I too would like to thank Mr. Hubbard for the devotion that he's demonstrated to the city of Northport by serving on the Civil Service Board for 20 years. Thank you, Mr. Hubbard.
Thank you.
I'll echo those same sentiments from District 1. Thank you, Mr. Hubbard, for your civic duty, paying your civic rent. I tell you what, we'll really miss you and your leadership in terms of our Civil Service Board. Also, too, I want to recognize, I know Mr. Sean Robinson's in the office. I know you missed signing up, but I know you came up to maybe speak. You guys have an event August the 8th from 1 to 5. You got a school supply giveaway at the Robert Hasson Center, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have in our school, but I will step up Depth Jockey here pretty well. I was a former resident of Northport. I stayed here for many years, seen a lot of ups and downs, stuff with the community as far as with the building of things going on. And we're here to give back a lot. It's been a lot of community events we don't have anymore. A lot of places that the kids can't go anymore because they are no longer there. From after school activities and them just being able to focus their energy toward other things. We were more worried about putting more police in the neighborhood instead of giving them places where they don't have to be at. Because I know these officers like to go home at a steady time like anyone else. And they shouldn't have to look over their back just by making a routine and stop and being nice like the man changing the tire. You know, this shouldn't have to be avoided. And the event is really to bring the community together. It's hosted in Northport, and I want all the residents of Northport to come. It's for anyone who's of need of it. Food's going to be out there. We had Mr. Logan come in. He's played a good part of stuff on the bringing in. Mr. Donald Jones and his wife, she's here attending the meeting also. And my brother Joseph Knox. We came together and want everyone to actually come through, even if you don't come and get on supply. I know it's been a while since you probably need a backpack, but if you don't come and get supplies, we have plenty of festivities that's going to be on the grounds at the Robert Hasson Center. And if you guys get a chance to, please come through, show your faces, and just appreciate all the support that everyone has come. And donations and stuff are still taking place. We're going to actually hold a donation pickup at the Robert Hasson Center. Actually, my direct contact number, I will post it and put it anywhere that you need to. And Mr. Logan also has it. And I just appreciate the time you're giving me. Sorry about being so late.
Thank you.
All right.
Jay, I missed signing up. Could I have 30 seconds or more?
You know what? I got one deal. If you serve another 20 years, I can get you. Look, I know it's unorthodox. I'll tell you what, this is your night, so you come on up.
Okay, thank you. You'd think after 20 years I know how a council meeting goes, but I forgot to sign up. What I do want to do is thank y'all for letting me serve for 20 years. It's been an enjoyable experience. I've met a lot of really fine people, and luckily a lot of them work here now. I've never hired one, but I put a few on the roster, and it's been great. I think that we have an assembly of some of the finest city employees that you could find anywhere. One thing that my last request is, when we promote somebody, let's look internal before we go outside. We've hired people and they say, my goal is I want to move up. I want to be police chief. I want to be fire chief. I want to be such and such supervisor. If we hire these good people that we send in y'all hire them, train them, because then they move into this, and the morale is so much better when that happens. Again, thank you for letting me serve for 20 years. It's been a great experience.
Thanks, Carl.
That is all under my business. Again, District 3, Councilman Sullivan.
I too want to thank Mr. Hubbard. You will be missed. I appreciate all you've done for the city, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
District 4, Councilman Acker.
Well, when you start getting on the tail end of these things, everybody's already said what you want to say, but you will be greatly missed, and I certainly appreciate your service and the way you've conducted yourself. It means a lot of integrity. Thanks. That's all I have. Thank you.
District 5, Councilman Harper.
Mr. Hubbard, I'd like to say thank you also, and it's people like you that make our city so great, and that go to work and doing the right things for our city. I'd like to say thank you. Thank you. I have no business.
The Honorable Mayor Bobby Herndon.
Well, Mr. Paul, I appreciate also everything you've done, and sometimes it's a thankless job, just like these folks up here. You know, sometimes we do things, we make decisions that you know, maybe sometimes you go back and you think about things you should have done, but you have. Our roster's always been filled with great employees, and do appreciate your service very much. And because of the people on the Civil Service Board, we do have great employees, and I want to say, as always, how much I appreciate everybody that works for the great city of Northport, Alabama. You know, a couple of weeks ago we lost a good employee, and we mentioned his name in prayer at the last council meeting, but please continue to remember the family of our firefighter Swindle. Do they live in Hueytown, Chief Marshal? They live in Hueytown area, and he drove back and forth. He was a fireman here and a volunteer fireman up there, but 47 years old. This is just way too young. Way too young. So please remember to continue to remember his family. And Mr. Schwab, thank you for talking about the great things, especially downtown Northport. And I don't know if a lot of you people realized, but there was a magazine came out here not too long ago recognizing the best stores, the best shops, the best events around the state. And the best antique store in the state of Alabama was Adams Antiques. The best antique store in the state of Alabama. When you go by there, you know, congratulate them. They've been a big part of our downtown area. And anyway, it's always an honor to be the mayor of the great city of Northport, Alabama.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 15 is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? That's a motion by Mr. Acker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Sullivan. All in favor, please say yes. All opposed, same sign. We're adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Hubbard, we're going to need you for another 20 years, but we'll give you something to eat and drink, kind of get your strength back up. So immediately following the meeting, we've got a little reception planned for you.